We are joined now by HuskerOnline Sean Callahan. Sean, good morning. Nebraska, per On3 Steve Wiltfong, is trending in the right direction for 2025 quarterback TJ Lateef. My question for you, Sean, is that with Nebraska, the buzz is all about Dylan Raiola. How do you convince a quarterback 1 year apart from Dylan to come to Nebraska right now?
Well, you take a quarterback every year, obviously, if you can. And, every major program probably has to battle this to an extent. But you can just say, look, Raiola probably will be our guy for about 3 years. You come in next year, could redshirt and learn under him, and then he'd have 1 more year, and then you'd have 3 to play. I mean, there's a lot of ways you can sell it with opportunity. But you almost got to sell it as a positive. Like, we have this great quarterback here that you'll learn under and get a chance to kind of develop with him and compete down the road and have a chance to be the guy. And quarterbacks, as we know, do get injured. I mean, Nebraska, I think Tanner Lee might be the last quarterback that's made it through a season healthy at Nebraska. I mean, it's rare for a quarterback to go wire to wire. At Nebraska, especially recently, where they played one guy every single game. We saw what happened last year.
It's interesting. You've already said that Dylan Raiola is a great quarterback.
I
know what you're saying, Sean.
Aaron Murray on Georgia, was posted on our board. I mean, a lot of people, I'm not saying what a lot of people are saying. I mean, come on.
I'm joking.
Come on, Babe in the Woods.
Yes, love to get Sean going. Okay, also, Sean, 2025 5-star receiver Michael Terry, the third of San Antonio, apparently had a great visit to Nebraska and is raving about it. What kind of timeline is he on? What's your expectations for Michael Terry?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, what is this timeline? What's his official visit schedule look like? And can Nebraska get him back again in the summer? Can they figure out a way to get him back up here in June? And have to be unofficial at that point. But I still think you'd like to get him up here again. I mean, just history tells you it's very tough to snag a guy like that. It only comes one time. So it went really well for the visit. Can they get him back? And then get him back up here again, potentially, that's a very good sign. And you're right. What's the timeline now with the other official visits? Because Nebraska played the front end of the line to get him up here early. But generally, a 5-star guy like this is going to take a lot more visits.
Sean, you talked about this on our show, our HuskerOnline show. This Joel Klatt rating Nebraska number 22 in his we'll call it a way too early poll in May. Nebraska ranked 22 nationally. What were your thoughts on that? I mean, were you surprised the old surprise question, were you surprised to see Nebraska 5-7 last year at number 22?
Look, I think the potential is there, and the biggest reason why, guys, is the schedule. I mean, the last time Nebraska's had a schedule like this was 2016, and we talked about this yesterday, Sip, that they had Oregon, though, in their first 7, and not Colorado. So I think you can argue Oregon was a more complete team in 2016 than what Colorado would be coming into Lincoln this year. So, but it is a similar schedule. I mean, the opening Big Ten games were Purdue and Indiana and Illinois. Very manageable way to start the year out. And they were able to start out 7-0. And it was kind of a fool's gold 7-0. They were ranked in the top 10, but they never really played a complete game. But but Nebraska's got that kind of schedule again this year, where they could potentially be favored in all 7 of those opening games. And I think that's what a guy like Klatt's looking at. He's like, look, I don't see a game in the first 7, especially with so many games at home, that they're going to be a decisive dog. And now it picks up starting in the next game at Ohio State in game 8. But the schedule and the upgrades they've made to the roster, I think, kind of lead to where he's probably got them at right now today.
7-0 would be a big part of it. Would be likely Raiola would be the starting quarterback. I'm curious, Sean. Everybody who's young is different when they come to college. But what do you think his learning curve looks like on the football field this year?
Well, he's played in a lot of high-level programs. I mean, nationally top 25 ranked programs: Burleson, Chandler, and then obviously Buford. I mean, those are 3 elite programs. So he's been involved in a lot of offenses, a lot of coaching in the highest level of high school football. Son of a professional athlete. And I think we've seen already how mature he is. So, defensive coordinators in this league are going to do a lot of things and come at him. I mean, Nebraska's got, if he is the guy, they've got to run the ball better because we know he's not going to run it.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want him running it like Adrian Martinez and Shepard Purdy and Heinrich Harper have had to do in the past. They want, obviously, the running backs to carry the load. So can they have the supporting run game with him, I think will be a big part of the success that he has as a quarterback. Because if you know he's going to throw, obviously defensive coordinators can really tee off on that a little bit differently.
I was struck by something you wrote in your Monday rundown column, Sean. I wish I would have known this on Saturday. So Matt Rule has this camp, a youth camp at Norris Middle School, which is, it's Eastern Omaha. Matt Rule talked that day, Saturday, about breaking down this Lincoln-Omaha barrier. You referred to it in your Monday column. You said that Sean Callahan, in his 40s, who's covered Nebraska football forever, can't remember Nebraska ever going in there and doing something like that?
No, well, I don't remember Nebraska football ever running a camp elsewhere, period, in Nebraska.
Okay.
Youth camp. Because, a lot of times camps are sponsored or they're used to make money. And, they're not like this. I mean, this was very much a grassroots deal.
Mm-hmm.
Limited marketing and cameras out there. I mean, they just put it together and went down there. And, and this is all Matt Rule. I mean, this is all Matt Rule. Like, if he doesn't want to do this or stamp off on this, that's not happening. I mean, you're making your assistant coaches, and particularly who had recruited all week, working all day camp, then on a Saturday, the week after spring football. So it takes some want to put all this together too, especially a week after the red, white spring game. But Rule sees like, hey, we got, a lot of opportunity here coming up. They've made 8 in-state offers for next year already. But then in the younger grades, they have 3 offers into Omaha Central right now already for the classes of 26 and 2027.
Mm-hmm.
So they have really, pushed into Omaha hard. And, things like this matter just to get in front of families, kids, parents, that, hey, these Nebraska guys aren't that bad. I mean, a lot of people that live in Omaha, Eastern Omaha, where I grew up, they've never seen or been around Husker football coaches before.
Mm-hmm.
So doing something like that allows a lot of people the opportunity to see guys in action.
And Sean, it was really striking. And you're right. It was just a grassroots circumstance. I mean, it was amazing. There was no marketing. There was hardly any media. I mean, it was beautiful. It was a beautiful scene. And I do think it's important to get into that part of Omaha. Sean, always good stuff. Thanks for the time. We will chat with you again next week.
Okay, guys. Hey, thank you. Appreciate it.
HuskerOnline, Sean Callahan.